Peace, God. Peace, goddess. About to do a quick little jammy right now. Y'all already know what it is. We debunking all the matrix definitions and we coming with the straight truth. Period. You know what I mean? Put this post up on Facebook that the devil is God's wife. Know what I mean? Real talk. Once you clear out all the smoke and mirrors and pull the curtain off the hinges, kick down the doors, you start seeing that the devil, yo, she looked straight spaced out, son. And she had the lunar eyes on, on high beams. Yeah. Once you clear out all the smoke and mirrors and all that, and all the confusion, man, you see that the devil is really God's wife. Nah, man, it's really God's wife. Deal with the tempting and all that. In a nutshell. Symbolic to when we ain't even gonna talk about symbolic. We're gonna talk about the literal, man. But they talk about like there would be like Adam and Eve. They would say that they would say like Adam and Eve came from the ground, or what is it, that Adam came from the ground, or Adam came from the dust of the ground. You know what I'm saying? And then Eve came by way of the ribs. Now we're gonna break that down. When they talking about Adam came by way of the dust of the ground, you gotta analyze, what is dust? Dust is dead skin. Skin that has separated from the body. Skin has what? Traces of DNA. So when they telling you that Adam came by way of the dust of the ground, no matter how they try to spin it, it will always go back to Adam being a hybrid. A manipulation of genes. You know what I'm saying? So Adam was created by way of DNA, traces of DNA, skin. Where does skin come from? According to them, there was no people on the planet. Where did the skin come from? Animals. You know what I'm saying? According to them, Adam and Eve was the only two people on the planet. So where did skin come from? Let's just play along with the story. Well, the skin would have to come from these damn animals. There will only be the other bodies on the damn planet. You know what I'm saying? So Adam came by way of an animalistic manipulation, by way of genetic traces existing in the skin, aka dust. And then they would be like, Adam needed a companion. So God put Adam to sleep. That sounds to me like Adam went under some form of being sedated. You know what I'm saying? Because a mother freaking operation was about to take place. And you know that when somebody is awoke, conscious, you know what I'm saying, in full feeling mode, they cutting your ass up, you're going to be hooting and hollering. So, you know, Adam, man, let me just hit you with this little serum right here and make you fall back. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be sedated, man. So I'm going to put you to sleep, man. Then I'm going to extract a rib. Now let's break down what the rib is. A bone. Now, in order for scientists to recreate or create some form of life, they need DNA. You know what I'm saying? DNA. Although you have DNA in the skin, you also got DNA in bones, in the bone marrow. You know what I mean? The bone marrow. So God put Adam and Eve to sleep, sedated him, did an operation by way of some form of blood transfusion with the bone marrow in the ribs, and then genetically created Eve, who was his companion, who was another clone, aka another artificial being. Just going along with how the story is, man. We analyzing the story down to a T. It don't matter if you put the spin on it that, I mean, it's really a reality that there was a group of people. So it don't even matter if they try to individualize it or if they try to multiply it. Whichever avenue you walk down, they still came by way of animal DNA. Straight up. Straight up. No matter how you try to spin it, they came by way of some form of genetic manipulation. A byproduct of different genes. That's why they can only mix at certain times. You know what I'm saying? When you see the genes coming on the verge of extinction, that means the genetic composition or recomposition has met its peak and it could no longer be mixed out. So now it's being mixed down. All got to do with genetic manipulation, man. Adam came into existence by some form of genetic manipulation, and Eve came by way of some form of bone marrow, blood transfusion manipulation. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't done in, like, you know how they give you the story and people will just visualize that, well, these people was created outside in dirt. That's how they would do it. You gotta know that these scientists keep dust samples in laboratories, man. In those petri dishes. A whole bunch of different dust samples, which is basically dead skin. They keep a whole bunch of skin samples in petri dishes. Label it, run experiments on it and on that. So when you hear about Adam and Eve being created and they give you an outside a scene that they was out in the dirt and dust and the ground and all that, that throws everything off. Throws everything off. You got to know that the highly sophisticated laboratory is Earth. It is a highly sophisticated laboratory. What is the whole purpose behind a laboratory? These fake labs, these cubes that they make with all and give all these different descriptions, describing a different type of consciousness, but they all doing some form of alchemy in it. Your science labs, your photonic labs, atom labs, nuclear labs, whatever lab. You know what I'm saying? The purpose of those labs is to take some form of life, study it, learn how it works, grow it, and nurture it. That's the same thing that's happening on the planet. How much life is being sprouted up out of the ground from the planet that's being nurtured and is being studied upon. The scientists pick flowers, pick plants, they pick up animals, take them in labs, and they study it. The authentic lab would be Earth. You know what I'm saying? So don't just look at it as they was outside in some dusty ass settings with no tools. Just know that they was in the highly sophisticated lab, Earth, but it was in a particular area. You know what I'm saying? A particular area, not so much exclusive to like a closed quarters, like how these movies be trying to pass it off when they do one of these experiments. You gotta know that the way how this planet is set up is experimental. The oceans, for instance, is an experimental substance. It preserves flesh. That's why it has salt in it. You know, you hear stories about the ancestors when they used to have meat and stuff like that, like fish, they would get fish. You know what I'm saying? They used to go fishing and all that. And when they wanted to preserve the meat of the fish, or even when it was out hunting with certain animals, they would go hunt certain animals. I ain't gonna be talking about our ancestors. But when you hear about those people hunting and doing all the fishing and hunting animals, in ways they utilize to preserve the flesh, they use salt. Salt has the ability to preserve the flesh. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at the sea oceans, man, just know that that is an experimental fluid. That fluid is there. It also serves as an experimental fluid. It is a fluid that could be used to preserve an experiment. This whole planet is an experimental field, man. You got to know that if the human race is an experiment, then wherever they at is the experimental grounds. Just like you have monkeys inside of laboratories, you know what I'm saying, that they have in these facilities, and you have certain type of animals, rats and rabbits and things like that. They have them in cages. You know what I'm saying? The cage is no different than a house. When you look at a house, you're looking at a highly sophisticated cage or a highly sophisticated cave. But we're going to keep it on the cage. They keep the animals caged in, and they will let certain animals roam about certain quarters of the facility, but it will be locked off where only certain personnel will be allowed in there. And the only ones who's allowed in there is the ones who's studying them. They will let them do certain activities, you know, no different than going to a basketball game or a baseball game or going out to a bar. It's the same animal template, but it's more sophisticated. So you will have the monkey, you know, jump up on some trees that they have inside of the building. You know what I'm saying? You have some rabbits run around in the woodchuck field, and they would have a diet that these creatures would eat. That's all based on experimental, because they have to have their genes vibrating on a certain frequency in order to experiment on it. So when you see the monkeys and the rabbits and the mice and all that eating this experimental food, that's why they feed these animals in these laboratories that food, because it's an experiment. When you see them feeding them corn, or they feed them potatoes or carrots, celery, whatever foods that they pass through the last gen humans, you know what I mean? Because the last gen humans sort of like got the stronger genes in regards to the next gen humans. The next gen humans would just be smarter. So they go to the source and feed these animals these types of foods, but that's all based on experimental. So when you see all these foods out here in our society, you know, your corn, your cheese puffs, your pig, your pork, your chicken, a fake bird. You know what I'm saying? All of this food, whether it's tacos or your shrimps, your buffalo wings, your T-bone steak. You know what I'm saying? When you see them doing all of that, just know that that is your experimental food that you are eating, because they need to get some form of experiment, some form of statistics, because they studying you on a highly sophisticated laboratory known as Earth. Many different ways, as I stated before, you could break down the matrix, man. A 10-year conversation, man. I'm telling you, man, so many different ways. There's so many layers, man. That's why people get so confused confused because they can't identify the layers. It's so perfectedly cloaked. They gift wrapped it so good. But then again, can't really say that they gift wrapped it so good. It's just that people don't have a reference point of reality. When they go for reference points in order to have some form of comparison into how things were, like reality in regards to this reality, they use the matrix. They're using the matrix, a time frame that exists within the matrix, to define the matrix. You're still looking at something that's fake. You can't use something fake and compare it to something fake. You know what I'm saying? You got one that's fake and you got one that's faker. My man, you lost in the sauce right now. You got to use the sun, the real planet. You look at the sun, that's the real planet. Now compare that real planet to Earth. You'd be like, damn. Yes, the truth is stranger than fiction. So if the sun is the real planet, and if this is a fake planet, then you already know that we fell hard. That alone should let you know that how far we fell, vibratorial wise. Our vibration dipped so low. Most people can't even stand the sun. If you want to have some type of reference point to identify real, look at the sun. That's real. But yeah. So when you hear about this Adam and Eve, just know that they were an extension of subjects that existed on a laboratory known as Earth. A highly sophisticated laboratory, man. So many different levels of experiments. When you look at something like this right here, hold on for a second, cuz. Look at Dunkin' Donuts. That's a laboratory you're looking at, man. That's an extension of a laboratory. That's COINTELPRO. That's the experimental food that's feeding the customers. As I stated before, the animals, they mark signatures and then they rendezvous at those points where they mark because it's like a territory. So you got the animals, customers, inside of there eating the experimental food. And look, they got the 13 encoded. They got the 13 and the 31 encoded. And it's also, they got the lunar phases up in there. Many ways you could break down that symbolism encoded in the Baskin Robbins, man. And they got Ba up in there. You already know who Ba is. Man, do I need to go into this, man? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the experimental food is out here in the animal land, aka animal planet, the advanced animal dimension, where the animals are more advanced because they are experiencing light 3 times dense, aka the 3rd dimension, known as Earth, which is not even the real name of this planet. That is a covert name for hell. And hell is not even the real name of the planet. As I stated before, the real name of the planet is not even in English, man. Anything that is real is not in English. You only use English words to give people an idea of what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But the real, man, it's not even a damn name, man. It's a vibration, man. So I say the Matrix, man, is heavy, cuz. You know what I mean? Gotta realize where you at. It's interesting, man. Just sit back and just be like, damn, son, yo, this what the gods created, man? We had a hand in this. Don't think that hell with the so-called black race. Don't think that the carbonated beings didn't have a hand in this creation. We all did. They like our children. I said this before in past videos, man. One of the reasons, man, is like we got this damn attachment to them because we see them as our damn kids. It might sound kind of twisted, but yeah. But we got to get back on that thinking wave band, man. But that's what gods do. Gods create life. We create simulations. Then we inject our consciousness in that simulated realm. No different than when you playing a VR game. You got your headset, you put the headset on. That's like you implanting your consciousness in that virtual reality. You know what I mean? Straight up. Many different realities out here, many different types of bodies out here, man. But yeah, man, Adam and Eve, man, they all came by way of some form of genetic manipulation. And they both clones, man. Everything that came before them and everything that came after them is all forms of clones, man. Right now, they trying to make an advanced human biosuit. That's what, as I stated before, in that Walking Dead theme is. One of those themes in the Walking Dead series has to do with training their genetics to overcome the imperfection, which would have to be somewhere along the lines of emotions. Because you see the people that fail. If you watch that series, you can see a lot of the people that fall victim to being bit by those creatures are emotional. Whether they panic, get scared, they ain't thinking right, they act stupid, all based on emotions. That have to go. And they will tell you, I didn't even notice, but I had to like go back and watch the early episodes, and they were saying that they have been somewhere along the lines that they have been injected with this virus. They said that the virus it exists within them, and it manifests or comes about into existence when they die. So I'm looking at that, okay, they died, then they turn into this creature, but that's no different than the damn spirit world. When they die, you go back to the spirit world, the valley of the dead, because that's what the spirit world is. I stated before, them spirits is nothing but disembodied entities seeking a host. They are parasitic energy. They seek hosts. You the damn host. So when you see these zombies, these people, regular people die, and then you see they change into this mutated form where they're just walking around and all they want to do is feed. That's it. They are unconscious, as I stated before in past videos, way before before I was even hip to the Walking Dead. They unconscious beings, these zombies, unconscious beings, and all they want to do is feed off matter, flesh. So all they want to do is just feed. They need to satisfy the urge, the crave, the hunger. That's what spirits do. So they showing you that when these people, the humans, die, but they gotta encode the carbonated beings in there because they can't totally make it humans, because then people might start thinking. You know what I'm saying? So when you see these, but then again, some carbonated beings are being caught up because they vibrate on the frequency of the beast, because they had this guard man and they're in love with some human. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, bruh? But anyway, when you see these bodies fall out and they die, then they just mutate into this damn zombie that they just want to feed. So they basically showing you the identity of a spirit. They're just walking around in the land. And what they are attracted to, they're attracted to noise. As I stated before in past videos, that music that they got out here, this rap, that's lunar frequency. That's not music, that's noise. Music has to do with the harmonic tones being in tune. And it raises awareness. It raises your solar vibration. It enlightens you and pushes you to do good things. But this noise that they got you listening to out here, it attracts spirits. They come on you and then they tag you. Hold on for a second. And then you be all fuzzed up in the game. Because spirits are attracted to noise. Because you got to know that noise is a distortion. Spirits is a distortion. As I stated before, they static, they a bunch of interference. They like to interfere with everything, man. Everything that got order, they interfere with it. So I gotta check the tablet. I don't even know. Where you going? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got it, mommy. I got it. So yeah, the yeah, hold on. Yeah, the spirits they're attracted to noise, man, because the noise symbolizes a distortion. That's why when they would tell you when they see spirits or ghosts, they would say that they leave traces. They will leave traces is what is known as white noise. No, mommy, sit down, mommy. What you doing, mommy? You wilding out, mommy. Relax, I got you. Just relax and enjoy the ride. The brakes on? Uh, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, they would say when those spirits or those ghosts or poltergeists, whenever they're around, they would leave like this frequency that they call white noise because that's the static discharge that they pulsating out. Yeah. Yeah, so about the about this client off, you already know what it is, but yeah, the static noise or the white noise got to do with the vibration that's they vibrate lower than the antennas, what they call ears. You know, if you got your etheric vision online, you know, the pineal gland, you could pick it up. Sometimes it'll sound like a high pitch ringing. That's how you know they just came in the area. Sometimes it'll sound like that, not 100% to it. But yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. You already know what it is, man. One.